Training with supersets is an underutilized tool when it comes to building muscle. A superset basically refers to performing 2 exercises back to back. So if you have a bicep curl and a tricep pushdown, instead of performing 3 straight sets of each exercise, you can also aim to pair the 2 exercises by doing a bicep curl and directly head into a tricep pushdown with minimal rest in between. Using supersets the right way has benefits for your muscle growth and training efficiency, so in this video I will show you how you can use supersets in your training. First, let's look into what types of supersets there are and which kind of supersets I suggest you experiment with. Because not all types of supersets are beneficial. In fact, if used in the wrong way, then supersets can even lower your training effectiveness. The 2 primary ways to perform supersets is when you pair exercises that train opposing muscle groups or you pair exercises that train the same muscle groups. If we want to get the most benefits out of supersets, we want to use supersets in which we pair exercises that train opposing muscle groups. And we want to mostly avoid using supersets that train the same muscle groups. An important principle in muscle growth is that we need progressive overload. We need to impose greater demands on our muscles over time. The only way we can progressively overload your muscles is when you are well recovered. When you perform supersets that train the same muscle groups, you will typically create too much local muscular fatigue, and this will lower your training volume. If you do 2 bicep curl exercises back to back, the second half of your superset would be of significantly lower quality because your biceps are tired. But if you pair exercises that train opposite muscle groups, your performance will stay intact. Let's take a pull-up and shoulder press example. If you superset your pull-ups with a shoulder press, you perform a set of pull-ups followed by a set of shoulder pressing while resting minimally in between. While you are training the pull-up, your shoulders and triceps are resting. When training a shoulder press, your back muscles are resting. Because these exercises train opposite muscle groups, you're able to perform them back to back without compromising your performance. So when utilizing supersets in your training, aim to superset exercises that target opposite muscle groups. Now, all of this theory and examples about supersets are great, but is there actually any scientific research supporting the use of supersets? In the scientific literature, the concept of supersetting opposite muscle groups is known as antagonist paired sets. The main benefit we are seeing in the research when it comes to using supersets that train opposing muscle groups is that it helps you save time compared to straight set training without sacrificing performance. When you superset 2 exercises, you reduce your resting time tremendously. Because now you only have that 2-minute rest interval after doing 2 exercises instead of 1. A 2014 study shows a good example of this. When the participants performed supersets with hamstring curls and leg extensions, they were able to save time in their training without reducing training performance compared to traditional straight set training. Another study shows that supersetting opposite muscle groups may even have performance benefits. When the participants performed supersets of the bench press and pull-ups, they were able to perform more volume than when they did 3 straight sets of the bench press and pull-ups. Because with a superset that trains opposite muscle groups, you also get a potential active recovery benefit. If you do a pull-up after a bench press, you essentially make your chest, shoulders, and triceps muscles go through a dynamic stretch. While with a bench press, you are dynamically stretching the biceps and back muscles without them being under load. And we know from research that dynamically stretching a muscle in between your sets provides a performance benefit. This is why I like to use supersets in most of my workouts. You finish the workout more quickly and you may even perform better. Now, next to benefits, there are also some practical limitations with doing supersets that we need to consider. For instance, if you train in a pretty busy gym, it often will not be possible to perform supersets with exercises like a lat pull down and bench press, since you will take up 2 devices at one time. If you use dumbbell exercises, you will still be able to use supersets in a busy gym environment. For instance, by supersetting an inclined bench press and chest supported row. But even here, there are some practical limitations. Because maybe you use different dumbbell weights on different exercises and then you again take up quite a bit of equipment. So supersets typically work best in a more empty gym environment. Secondly, using supersets is also tough if you train with a body part split. If you perform a chest day with 4 chest exercises and 2 triceps exercises, all the movements in your workout have overlap. So in the case of having a body part split instead of an upper, lower, or full body program, there are no exercises of opposite muscle groups that you can superset in the first place. With the example of having a body part split, you can still aim to superset some exercises like movements that are not related to each other. For instance, if a tricep pushdown and dumbbell side raise are the last two exercises of your training session, you can pair these exercises together and perform them in a superset. The third practical limitation when it comes to using supersets is that it's tough to use on heavy compound exercises. Movements like a barbell squat or deadlift challenge your body as a whole by themselves, making it difficult to superset these exercises with a different movement. So if you notice that a certain exercise like the squat or deadlift is very challenging to your body, then isolating this exercise and doing it in a straight set fashion makes more sense than using supersets. There is research to support this too. Supersetting a barbell back squat and rows resulted in lower performance compared to using straight sets, likely because the squats were quite challenging. Now that we understand the benefits and drawbacks of using supersets, let's look into how I use supersets in my workouts during my upper body days. My upper body workout looks as follows. As you see, I perform 2 back and 2 chest exercises, while also having a bicep and tricep exercise. I perform my back and chest exercises in a superset fashion. So the bench press is supersetted with pull-ups for 3 sets. After this, I superset the barbell row with the incline press for 3 sets. I like this training style because after only 30 minutes, I've already covered the 4 big compound movements of my workout. After the compound lifts, I move into a bicep curl and tricep pushdown superset and then finish off the workout with 3 sets of side raises. If you are looking to save time and a way to spice up your workouts, then using supersets is definitely worth a try. See it as simply another training tool in your arsenal to consider when programming your workouts. And that was all for today's video. I hope you now have a better understanding of how you can go about using supersets in your training. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Also, if you found this video helpful, then leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and I will see you in that next video.